On tonight's show,
Shafer Hall used to be home to the performing arts here on campus, but now it's home to nearly 100 Eastern students. I'm Tyler Madden. I'll take you inside Eastern's newest residence hall coming up.
Andrew Meehan sits down with the fall concert coordinator, Zach Christensen. We take a look at the most recent call for the impeachment of Donald Trump. And Eastern's men's soccer team has remained undefeated. Jarret Soltis is here with another look at their most recent game. This and more on the September 26th edition of ETV News. Good evening, everyone. I'm Connor O'Malley.
And I'm Julia Florence. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with a message that was sent out to all Eastern students earlier today about the Eastern Equine Encephalitis, or EEE outbreak. An email was sent out this afternoon to all students from Health Services recommending that all students take precautions.
EEE is a rare mosquito-borne illness that causes serious brain infections. Officials recommend that students use insect repellent, cover bare skin, and avoid being outside from dusk till dawn to avoid being bitten. Eastern has also taken extra precautions, including moving up the start times of various outdoor sporting events this weekend.
This comes as a 10th person has died from the disease. There have been 27 human cases in 6 states this year, including 2 deaths in Old Lyme and East Lyme. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says there are typically just 5 to 10 human cases each year, but some 30% of those cases are usually fatal.
A storied building on Eastern's campus that has served a number of purposes throughout the year has just opened its doors after extensive renovations and is now being used in a new way. Reporter Tyler Madden takes us inside Shafer Hall.
The newly renovated Shafer Hall just opened its doors about a month ago and is now home to nearly 100 Eastern students. Shafer Hall, named for the longest tenured president at Eastern, George A. Shafer, was originally constructed in 1946 and throughout that time has seen many changes, most recently serving as the home of the Fine and Performing Arts on campus. However, once the new Fine Arts Instructional Center was built, Shafer needed to be repurposed.
The best way to sort of determine what we were going to renovate it to is to sort of ask the end user, which is the students.
Lamar Coleman is the Director of Housing and Residential Life at Eastern, who worked to get students' input on what to do with Shafer.
We convened a focus group of residential students, and the residential students were able to give input with regard to things that they would like to see in a residence hall.
The $24.6 million project was completed just weeks before move-in day for students. Hall Director Kurt Tiedemann was blown away by the finished building.
And a lot of students refer to it as a hotel when they first see it.
Okay, these are one of the fabulous rooms in Shafer Hall. I live on the first floor and I share this room with 2 other people.
There are 4 different suite styles for students to choose from. Sophomore Tiara Williams lives in a 3-person suite.
That's Alondra's room, my first roommate, and this is my room.
There are various common areas inside Shafer for students to study and relax. One of the favorite spots for residents is the game room. Though the inside seems brand new, the history of Shafer was not lost on any of the architects tasked with remodeling the space.
They wanted to keep as much of the history alive in this building as possible. So in this room, we have a frog on the wall to represent Willimantic's frogs history. In terms of around the rest of the building, most of the brickwork is original to the building, as well as some of the benches in the hallways.
Giving students their own studio apartments right on campus makes Shafer one of the most innovative residence halls.
I think Shafer Hall is probably the most unique residential facility on a college campus in the state and probably even the region. If they do live in Shafer, they are literally a part of history because, again, at one point in time, Shafer was the primary building on campus, in fact, the only building on campus.
There are a number of areas inside Shafer Hall open to all Eastern students, including a cafe and a basketball court, which is expected to be completed and open within the next few months. Reporting from right here at Shafer Hall, Tyler Madden, ETV News.
The cafe, as Tyler mentioned, is open to all Eastern students Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Students are able to use dining dollars and express cash, as well as cash and credit cards.
Shafer isn't the only building on campus that has just recently reopened. After being completely gutted and rehabbed, Goddard Hall opened its doors to students for the fall semester. Inside are 7 new labs to be used by the psychology, kinesiology, and physical education departments. This completes the $21.7 million renovations on both the communications building and Goddard Hall.
Crandall and Burnham halls are also currently under construction, as crews work on replacing the existing roof and repointing the bricks on the existing structure. Repointing is commonly done on brick buildings as they get older. Crandall and Burnham were originally constructed in 1970, and each housed 90 students.
This past Friday, Housing hosted an event on Webb Lawn where students were able to have some fun. Connor O'Malley takes a look at the night of inflatables.
With the fall semester freshly underway, what better way to get settled on campus and start the weekend than with some inflatable fun? With obstacle courses, games, and other inflatable events to help students unwind and get settled with the new school year. We talked to some students who attended the event to see what they had to say.
Well, this event is the night of inflatables provided by Friday After Dark, the FAD committee, presented on campus for all of our students who don't typically go home on the weekends, so this is kind of our version of weekend programming.
Students can find out about FAD events by looking at some of the different flyers that are in each of the residence halls or following our Instagram page at Eastern Housing on Instagram, where we always post updates about our events that we have for the semester.
So I think Eastern, the activities here are just actually the greatest. We have so much to do here, and what better is there to do other than have fun on like a Friday night like this?
Well, first, it's on a Friday, and we don't have any classes. Well, we had them early during the day, but it's on a Friday, and it's after dark. We get to come out here and socialize with everyone, so that's what they did really good. And who doesn't like inflatables? So that's what they also did well.
Well, it's a good way to meet people, and you can get things like priority points. It's just a way to have fun instead of just sitting in your dorm room.
If you couldn't attend tonight's event, don't worry. Eastern Housing holds tons of events that you can attend. Just check out their Instagram at Eastern Housing. For ETV News, I'm Connor O'Malley, bouncing it back to the studio.
After getting a great response from their sole performance last year, Eastern's theater program revived Africa to America for 3 performances from September 17th through the 19th. The play, written by Wendy Coleman, chair of the Department of Theater Arts at Alabama State University, takes audience members through the history of slaves coming to America, and within the show is a message important for everyone who came to see it.
This is a story that's a part of American history, as nasty, as brutal as it is. It's a part of our history, and we need to acknowledge it so we don't repeat it.
Audience members also learned about the lives of numerous historical figures, including Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks.
Eastern has been recognized for its sustainability efforts by the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. They highlight universities nationwide for their innovative and high-impact initiatives. The university was recognized as being among the highest scorers among universities in the food and dining category. Chartwell's Food Services has supported other sustainable food systems by making low-impact dining options available, educating customers about more sustainable options, offering meatless dining, and instituting sustainable food and beverage practices.
Eastern has changed its routes shuttle service this semester. The old Eastbrook Walmart route will now be called the off-campus route, and Stop and Shop in Willimantic has been added to the route. It now runs 7 days a week from 4:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And Shafer Hall will be added back to the on-campus routes. For any questions about the shuttle, call Campus Police.
The Art Gallery at Eastern Connecticut State University presents Consistency of the Temporal from August 27th to October 10th in the Fine Arts Instructional Center. The exhibition features local mixed media artist Beatrice Modisette. Modisette's works are inspired by geological formations, personal histories, and the systems that humans create in an attempt to navigate and control the landscape. This art gallery is located in room 112 of the Fine Arts Instructional Center on Eastern's campus. Gallery hours are Tuesday and Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 5, Thursday, 1 to 7 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m.
On Tuesday, Eastern's Multicultural Leadership Council hosted an outdoor cookout in support of National Voter Registration Day. From 5 to 8 p.m. on the Webb lawn, the council offered students free food, music, and lawn games, while spreading its message with meet and greets from students, all in an effort to get people out to vote.
When we come back, we have another edition of ETV News' One-on-One as Andrew Meehan recently sat down with Zach Christensen of Eastern's Campus Activity Board. Stay with us.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Eastern's fall concert is this Sunday, and Andrew Meehan recently sat down with Zach Christensen, one of the people tasked with putting together the concert. Take a look.
Welcome to ETV News One-on-One. I'm Andrew Meehan. Eastern's fall concert featuring A Boogie with the Hoodie and Snowsa will be taking place on Sunday, September 29th. And joining me here now is someone who is responsible for organizing the show, the concert coordinator for Eastern's Campus Activity Board, Zach Christensen. Zach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So what are your responsibilities as concert coordinator?
As concert coordinator, I do a lot of things. In addition to the big concerts that we have in the fall and the spring, we do trips. This semester, we're going to see Bad Bunny in Bridgeport. In addition, we're having another event in November where we're going to have Eastern student-led bands for a little Battle of the Bands type event.
How was the fall concert headliner decided?
The fall concert headliner was decided by a few different factors. The budget that we had to work with, the availability of all the artists that we were considering, and also a survey that we put out to the students in the summer that kind of gauged the interest of different artists, and they tell us who they would like to see.
And what are you expecting from the concert?
Out of this concert, I'm really hoping that we can sell out just based off what the turnout was last semester. We really wanted to put on a big show that the students would be excited about so that we could totally wipe that last concert from our minds. Over the summer, in that survey that I mentioned previously, A Boogie had about 65 to 70% of the students vote, and the next most was only around 20 to 25. So he absolutely blew everyone else out of the water. So we did everything that we could to make it happen for all the students.
And so where can people buy their tickets?
Students can buy their tickets at the Student Center Info Desk. They're $25 for students and $30 for guests.
Okay, so why should people come to this concert?
People should come to this concert because, like I said before, the students spoke and we answered. We wanted to put on a show that all the students were excited about. We didn't want to have any repeats of any previous concerts where not a lot of students came, and so we just want to have a big turnout for the show, and students should be excited about it.
Once again, I'm joined by the concert coordinator for CAB, Zach Christensen. Zach, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Tickets for the fall concert headlined by A Boogie can be purchased in the Student Center. Tickets are $25 for students and $30 for guests.
Still ahead, we take a look at Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's most recent call for the impeachment of Donald Trump. Don't go away.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him, he's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for staying with us. I'm Connor O'Malley. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi announced on Tuesday a formal impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump. The president admits he asked Ukraine to investigate his political rival Joe Biden and his son. Pelosi says that has propelled the existing investigations to another level. The president responded almost immediately on Twitter, calling the probe witch hunt garbage and presidential harassment. The White House responded to Pelosi's announcement in a statement, saying, quote, nothing new here. Pelosi saying in a news conference today, quote, there are some in our caucus who think let's just have an impeachment. No, we have to take an inquiry and to further establish the facts. There is no rush to judgment. In some ways, we are a jury, open to what might be exculpatory or not.
The whistleblower complaint about President Trump's phone call to Ukraine's president is in the hands of Congress. Senator Richard Burr confirmed he has the report. Members of the House Intelligence Committee are also reviewing the report. President Trump says he wants full transparency on the report, but at the same time, he called the whole thing a hoax. Yesterday, at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Ukrainian President Zelensky and Trump talked about their phone call. The details of the conversation were released a day after the House of Representatives formally announced an impeachment investigation against Trump. A disclaimer on the transcript document makes note it is not a verbatim of the conversation, but a summary using voice recognition software and note takers. Zelensky gave the Trump administration permission to release details of the call.
Another parent will spend time behind bars for his part in the college admission scandal. A federal judge sentenced Devin Sloan to 4 months in prison as part of the scam. Sloan is the founder and CEO of a provider of drinking water and wastewater systems. He pleaded guilty to paying $250,000 to nefariously get his son into the University of Southern California. The judge also ordered him to pay a $95,000 fine and serve 500 hours of community service. Sloan is the second parent to be sentenced in this scandal. Actress Felicity Huffman was sentenced to 14 days in prison for her role earlier this month.
Now to an update on a story that has captivated the state over the summer. A Connecticut man charged in his wife's disappearance went before a judge Monday. Fotis Doulos was in a Stamford courtroom to address issues with his GPS monitoring device. He's accused of not complying with the terms of his bond. Doulos was ordered to wear an ankle bracelet after he was charged in the case involving Jennifer Doulos. The mother of 5 went missing from New Canaan 4 months ago. Doulos and his girlfriend, Michelle Triconis, have been accused of hindering the prosecution and tampering with evidence. He will be back in court October 4th.
If you're a cat person, you probably already know this. Cats really do bond with their people, but they don't always show it. Researchers at Oregon State University studied human attachment behavior between babies and parents, then translated that study to dogs, primates, and now cats and kittens. They found that each case, a secure care bond looked similar. In the study, cats and kittens would individually spend 2 minutes in a room with their owner or caregiver. Then the person would leave the room for 2 minutes, followed by a 2-minute reunion. This is called a secure-based test. About 65% of the cats and kittens were found to be securely bonded to their owners. Their finding shows that the cat's bond with people were stable in adulthood and not just present in kittens. The study hopes to discover different aspects of cat attachment behavior to help shelter cats feel more secure.
When we come back, Jarret Soltis will be here with a look at the men's soccer team's recent game against UMass Dartmouth that highlights the next in sports.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
but I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Julia Florence.
And I'm Connor O'Malley. We're joined here by ETV Sports' Jarret Soltis. Jarret, good evening.
Hey, Connor and Julia, good evening to you both. The Eastern Connecticut State men's soccer team played host to Elms College in a non-conference matchup this past Tuesday under the lights at Rick McCarthy Field. There you see senior Jackson Toomey looking over some final things before we get underway against Elms College this past Tuesday night. There you see junior goalkeeper Kyle Buto getting some final work in. And the leading goal scorer in the LEC, Patrick Adjman, with 8 goals in the season. All smiles before the phone got underway. Early in the game, just 36 seconds in, it's going to be Andres Miari beating 2 Elms College defenders. And then he put in that one in the back of the net. Take another look at that one as he stays with the play, able to get past goalkeeper Connor Ledicki, give Eastern a 1-0 lead. Then just a little while later in the 18th minute, it's going to be Will Toomey leaving one off for none other than Patrick Adjman, his 9th goal of the game. His 9th goal of the season, rather, as you see him celebrating with his teammates there. Then some missed opportunities for the Warriors as Will Toomey hits one off the crossbar. And just a little while later, Miari trying to get his 2nd goal with that one stopped by Ledicki. And then freshman Ryan Sroy is getting involved in the action as he gets his 2nd goal of the season. As he's ecstatic. Eastern would go on to win 3-0. They would move to 8-0, while Elms College would fall to 1-5-2. After the game, I caught up with freshman forward Ryan Sroy. Let's take a look.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. ETV Sports' Jarret Soltis here with freshman forward Ryan Sroy. Ryan, thanks for joining us. You almost had a goal early in that second half, and then a few minutes later, you were able to capitalize and actually get it. What gave you so many opportunities here in this game tonight?
My teammates always playing selfless. Nobody ever playing for themselves. Everybody trying to get everyone involved, and that's all it is to it. Everyone's playing as a unit, and the opportunities are come for everybody.
You guys recently found out now that you're the number 10th ranked team in the New England region, only team to take down number 5 WPI. What does it mean to you guys to get regional exposure like that?
It's cool. It's cool to see, but we're obviously not satisfied.
Next game for the Warriors takes place this Saturday as they travel to take on the Beacons of UMass Boston. The Eastern Connecticut State Athletic Department announced Tuesday they will be reinstating the men's golf team for the fall of 2020. After a 38-year hiatus, the Warriors will be rejoining the LEC. A few other teams were in action this past week. The men's cross-country team finished in 12th place in the UMass Dartmouth Invitational, while the women's team would come home in 16th. The field hockey team lost 2-1 Friday in a close double overtime game against Southern Maine. The volleyball team was in action 3 times this past week as they took down UMass Dartmouth last Friday. They would go on to lose to Eastern University in straight sets the following day and then bounce back with a 3-0 win against Regis on Tuesday. Finally, the women's soccer team brought home a 3-2 win this Saturday against UMass Dartmouth in their Little East Conference opener. That's it for this week in sports. Connor, Julia.
Thanks, Jarret. That's it for this week's show.
Thank you so much for joining us. To keep up to date with all things ETV News, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Connor O'Malley.
And I'm Julia Florence. We'll see you next week, Eastern.